in a row I've gotten this, the alfalfa. Well, I guess better than whatever. Here, now I've got a bunch of alfalfas. It's like a, what do you call that? Like a field of alfalfas on my head. How's that? So I've got hair stuff. Good to see you. I hope you guys can hear me. I'm using this other microphone. It's supposed to have worked. Hello, hello. Is this thing on? I think if I'm going to use this microphone, it's so funny. Okay, you can see and hear me. Thank you. So you guys know how I have the like kind of the Mr. Microphone that Carla gave me, right? But I've got this other like legit professional microphone from my husband, so you can hear me more clearly, because folks were saying on the when I was using the microphone that's attached to my laptop here that it wasn't as clear. I swear I'm going to have like one of those. I'm going to have him put one of these on there. Okay. Wouldn't that be, well, maybe you wouldn't see it, but maybe I'll put it in front of me so you can see it. Anyhow, good morning, everybody. And yay for folks showing up, keeping me company, me keeping you company. Yay for, hooray for the riffraff. Hooray for the people who practiced their, what do I want to call it? Your tech skills, practicing your tech skills, and changed the channel from YouTube or from TikTok to YouTube. Awesome. Good stuff. Good stuff. Here's another thing you can practice. It's not for me. Trust me. I don't care if anybody gives it a thumbs up for me. I believe, I don't know, but I've been told, I don't know, but I've been told, I don't know, but I've been told that if you like this live, it might somehow amplify the signal and boost it, so other people who might be scrolling on YouTube and curious about decluttering might be able to tune in. I don't know. So Louise did a like, and she also knows where that little green checkmark box is. I love that little green checkmark box. Got it done. Like, to me, and mine are different. Because I'm left-handed, so I always do my check marks the other direction. I did a TikTok live. Check. YouTube live, check. Also, those of you who were just on TikTok with me, as a heads up, I would share. I would say an inside joke, but literally there would be 4 people in the entire planet, all of whom I'm related to, would be getting it. That was not the truck for the bagster. I'm gonna have to share this with my sister. It was a truck for the landscapers working at the apartment building across the street. Okay, so they haven't picked up the bag yet, but they will. I trust that they will keep their word and pick it up, but it's still there. And I did totally look out the window to see if it was there, but it will be gone soon enough. And it will be in the rearview mirror. So folks, happy Friday. Happy Friday. Now, many of you rolled over from TikTok. But what I will offer is, even though we may have checked ourselves an hour ago, how we felt physically and energetically, I bet you feel differently physically and energetically. If you ate something an hour ago, it's probably working its way on down your digestive tract. I've been drinking some tea, so maybe I've got a bit of caffeine in me. I've also been talking for an hour, so perhaps I'm a little bit more either I'm lubricated in the mind, but dry in the throat. So check in with yourself again. How are you feeling now? Are you feeling good? Yay for feeling good. Could you feel better? Define better. And what can you do to get to destination better? It was kind of cool. I will share with you. I got a massage yesterday. Yay, Lori feels strong today. Awesome. Yeah. And it was great. I got a massage yesterday, and when I walked in to our friend who does the massages, she's like, how are you feeling? I'm like, I feel good. Like, sometimes I'm like, oh, this and that and the other thing. I felt good. So the massage was a bonus. Oh, my goodness. Yay. Kara. So fun. She's leaving her dreamy Airbnb this morning. So Kara is from the East Coast, and she's out in LA, and LA is one of her happy places. I like to say, that's what I've started to say, because people are like, oh, Palm Springs is your happy place. And I say, one of my happy places. I want multiple happy places. I have multiple happy places. but you're going to an awesome mid-century modernist artist estate sale looking for something that will fit into a suitcase for our garden and art or sculpture. That sounds like so much fun. Yay, you. Actually, Kara, and anybody else, this may be very niche, but speaking of mid-century modern and artists' houses, after I sign off today, literally at 11:15, my husband and I and our two friends are driving to George Nakashima's house. It's in Nakashima. George Nakashima's house and getting a tour there. It's something I've wanted to do for years, and we're finally making it happen. Yay! No, I love this. Somebody, and I felt bad because I had to sign off wicked quick because I didn't want the YouTube folks thinking I was not showing up. Somebody said they got a wicked lot done during the YouTube or the TikTok. So yay for getting stuff done. Maybe it was you, Monica. I'm not sure, but even if not, Monica's taking a break. Give me a break. I sure could use it, right? Got the dishes and surface clutter in the kitchen and living room done. Working on the floors next. Okay, that sounds like you. Yay for taking a break. You need a break. A break is you recharging your battery, and not just so you can go clean again. It's not just so you can be more productive in the factory of life. No. Enjoy your break. Enjoy your break. Yay. Yay. Oh, good. Louise says, the TikTok you just did was full of so much good content. I believe it will help me today and going forward. I'm so glad you mentioned that, Louise, because you know what you're reminding me to do? I will tell you how it is, Kara. I just saw that. But what I'm going to do, I'm going to take a moment and I am going to go back to my TikTok because I do my TikToks on my phone, right? And I am going to use this time to have the live be, oh my goodness. I had to reinstall TikTok yesterday because my FYP was like somebody else's FYP. I had no idea. So I'm just going to, I'm going to start the processing. Allow full access. Why the hell not? Okay. So that I can get that uploaded for you so that you'll know which one to go check when you go revisit it. Okay. Yeah. Now, Kara is bringing up a good point, and I love this too. Traveling helps you see what you really don't need. Thinking about all the stuff I can pass on when I get home. I love that. I love that. I used to, when I traveled, I used to buy souvenirs like nobody's business. I used to feel kind of at a certain point obligated. Well, I collect snow domes, so I should probably connect another snow dome. Now, I only buy something if it really hits the spot in both my home and my pocketbook. Kara, I don't know. I'll just say this too. Kara and I have a lot of we like mid-century modern stuff. And since she's out in the LA area, I don't know if you have time and how far away it is from what you are. But one of the things I felt was wicked fun was I went out to the Bauer Pottery has a factory, kind of not a factory outlet, but like a shop that you can go to. It was out in the hills somewhere. That was really cool. I wanted to buy one of those canoes, they call them. I still might at some point, but I digress. That was really fun too. Hey, this is good. Barb Wilsdean says, got the new split box spring queen size to the basement. One of my favorite words, easily. You know what made it easy was logic and faith. It was easy. Yeah. Logic, faith. You got to have faith. Where's my microphone? Oh, you got to have faith. Thank you. Thank you. Table 17, your pizza's ready. Yeah. Logic. Logic gets you so far, but logic plus faith equals making shit happen. Good stuff. Good stuff happen. When I say shit, I don't mean bad shit. I make good stuff happen. Right? Yay. Melody stamps. I feel good that I decluttered a lot of stuff and made my move from Georgia, Arkansas. Yay, you. Trying to go through boxes to see what I can have in my room. The room is small. Hey, Leslie, again. Melody, I love that you are using moving. Sorry, that was me making a noise. I love that you are using moving as a reason to declutter. So what I want to offer to you is this. Unpack organically. What does this mean? It means unpack the things you need on a daily basis first. Your toothbrush, your toilet paper, your teacup, your pajamas. But then allow your life to inform what you reach into your boxes and pull out. Play around with how it feels to not have a lot, and then to mindfully add something and say, do I like how this feels or not? You probably did rightly get some things gone before you even moved, but now you're actually in that Barbie dream home. Before that, you were just thinking, I might want this in my house. Now you're going to live in it. But here's a neat thing too, and this is so random, but it's not random at all. Is I was talking to Kara right now about the Bauer Pottery place in LA. The thing that I brought home from there was a tile with, it was the rules of a certain art studio from Karita Kent. Now, if you live in the Boston area, you know Karita Kent. I believe that's her name. I'm just totally using the top of my head. She's the one who painted the Boston Gas. I say towers because of an age, but now there's just one. And one of the things she says is find a place and explore, like something about find a place and live in it for a while, like get comfortable. Okay. And live in your place for a while. Don't feel pressured to unpack just because you have stuff in boxes. The neat thing about leaving things in boxes is that is a very powerful yet quiet message that says, these are the things I don't necessarily need or want to be surrounded by immediately. You know, I'd open up and immediately take out my teddy bear. But, you know, some of this other stuff I maybe look at. There we go. Okay. Kara, sounds like you're going to have fun. Sounds like you're going to have fun. I love it. Yes. And yeah, I got really particular being surrounded by all that Bauer pottery. I got very particular about what I was going to get home. Yes, it had to fit in a suitcase, and it had to fit my price point. And I wanted to make sure I had a place for it. So I offer that as a suggestion to everybody. When you're traveling and you see something you like, you may like it. There's nothing wrong with liking it. But then if you're going to bring it into your house, where are you going to put it? And if you're saying, oh, I'll find a place for it. Oh, yeah. What room? Where in your room? Now, I know immediately where I would put that Bauer canoe. You know, it's like a 24. I don't think they make 36-inch, but it's like a canoe shaped thing. I know exactly where I was going to put it on my table. But then when I saw it, it was a different configuration than I thought. Then I was like, okay, I'm okay with not buying this. But I just saw recently that might be something fun to put on our patio. We'll see. I'll use it as an excuse next time we're in Palm Springs to drive out there again. But I digress. Notice what you bring into your home, even when you're bringing it in when you're moving in a box. How excited are you to open it up? The things you need on a daily basis, the tools of living, are probably things that are going to come out first. But there's a lot of stuff. Let it sit in the boxes. Notice how it feels to live with fewer things around you. Okay? Even if you are not moving, this is what I did. Seriously, this game really helped me declutter the current house we live in. Is I played the game, pretend we're moving to Palm Springs, California. If you followed me for any length of time and you've heard me, Palm Springs, for many reasons, is one of my happy places. So I envisioned myself, okay? I envisioned myself in my perfect, like my ideal Palm Springs home. And then I looked at where I was now, and I would say, if I were moving to Palm Springs, would this fit in that home? Would I need to bring this? Do I need to? And it really helped me not only decide what I really liked and what I kind of liked, but it also allowed me to actively transform where I live here in Pennsylvania. Even just this one room, Melody, even just this one room, I transformed into kind of the things that I like about my dream home, even though I'm not physically in that geographic area. I'm in basically a spare bedroom of our ranch house in Eastern PA. So you're living with your brother, so I only have my bedroom to have my stuff? Yeah. So I have to pick and choose carefully what I keep in the house. Yeah. Everybody, all of us should be picking and choosing carefully what we have in our homes. And you know who, to me, when I say that picking and choosing carefully, you know what part of my body lights up in doing that is here. These words could convince me of a lot of stuff. But when I am picking and choosing that Bauer pottery, that, Russell Wright, that Harlequin ware, that Fiesta ware, that Franciscan Starburst, whatever it is, the words in my head, no, it's my heart. It's my feels. I feel the feels like, ooh, I want that. Ooh, I love that color. And then once I realize I want it or I like it, that's when the words come up. And it can be like, yes, get it. You deserve it. You have a perfect place for it. You're going to be so psyched. Every time you look at that thing, you're going to be so psyched. You know? Ooh, this is a good story, people. This is a story we're like our little TEDx here. Okay. It's like decluttered X. I don't know. Kara says, we talked about the fact that we are in this amazing Airbnb in Los Angeles being not home for Kara, but her happy place. We are in this amazing Airbnb thanks to selling the sterling silver out of the garage after being encouraged during a live a few months ago. Yay. Yay. Look what happened to Kara and her husband. They had inherited some sterling silver that was just kind of sitting around in the garage, and they knew we got to do something with it. And I don't know exactly what transpired on the lab. We could probably, go back to this is the point where it made all the difference. But I love the word encouraged. I love the word encouraged because it's encouraging. Whatever happened on that Destination Decluttered Live gave you guys the courage, the destination to say, let's see about selling that sterling. How can we transform this metal that meant something to somebody at some point into money that we could then transform into something that means something to us? Courage, right? You have the courage. You may just have a backseat driver that is currently just trying to talk you out of it, to your courage, to discourage you. This is why we quiet them down, because the courage is the thing that gets you to take the action, to weigh the silver, to see if it's plate or solid, to find somebody. And all those little steps, boom, she transformed her clutter into a vacation and a stay someplace that they will remember for the rest of their lives. And the feeling in their hearts and maybe a few snapshots are the most important thing to take back from that, because they have a feeling of what it's like to live in this place, in the Hollywood Hills. And that was able to be made easier because it was a yes and. They were able to not only get rid of clutter, but transform it into money and have the money to use for something good. Now, you were lucky in the fact that your garage was filled with sterling silver, right? My garage doesn't have, we do have our vintage camper. We could sell that to do something. So there's that. Not everybody has stuff that's worth the money that we want to get for it. Many times we may want to make money from our stuff, but I will share with you guys, you can work really hard and not make a lot of money. So before you even start doing that, know what you're getting into. Go and look to see if what you think you want to sell is even worth it to anybody else. You may be pleasantly surprised. You may be sadly discouraged, but at least then you're moving forward in a way that is informed by the next steps. I've told the story many times of selling some of my dad's stuff that he collected and spent a lot of money on. And by the time we felt ready to sell it, nobody wanted it. They didn't even want us to give it to them. We have too many of those. We don't need them anymore. I saw a thing on TikTok recently where a guy was holding up a Beanie Baby and is like, I'm ready to exchange this for some money for my mortgage. Can you help me, please? Collect things because you love them, that they bring you joy in your life, and not just that quick sugar rush of seeing it and wanting it and getting it, but think of how you'll feel every single time you look at it in your home. I do that, and I want to make sure that the story I tell myself, I project myself out into the future. If I did have that on my kitchen table, what's the story that would run through my head about this? Do I like that story? If I like the story, I may be encouraged to bring it into my house. But if I'm not keen on the story, I think the best story is to be cool with leaving it, admiring it from a distance, but saying thank you, but no. All right. Yeah. And Kara is also following me up with saying there was plenty of stuff that didn't sell. And then she felt more comfortable. She says, and I gave away too. So she sold some stuff and she gave away some stuff. The great thing is she's going back to a less cluttered home. And look, this experience has encouraged her to then take another lap around her house and say, okay, what else do we not really, what else doesn't have that vibe we're going for? I've done that since I decluttered. Here's a fun thing I will share with you. This is totally 100% true. When we were getting the stuff done in the basement, we had a lot of stuff in the living room. The living room looks so much better now. Yay! The tiki room that our friend Livy did a video in. You guys, Olivia Rubini, look her up. If I could do it now, I might be sassy. And you know what? Oh, maybe I'll do this. The tiki room looks good. And there was something that I found in the tiki room that I said, I'm willing to let this go now. Okay. And here's sorry. The reason I'm doing this right over here is our tiki room was decluttered enough that somebody did a music video in it. Okay. Let me see if I can paste this into the chat, because hopefully this will stay once we do it. Okay. So that's the video that our friend Livy did in our tiki room. Now, the reason I'm even mentioning the tiki room is people have said, I want to get a tour of your house. I'm like, you can see some of it, but not all. That's a room that I said, okay. But also, I had a little glass tray that I had thrifted some years ago that I always thought had a cool design on it. Do not get me wrong. And it had a bunch of these kind of really cheesy souvenir ashtrays on them that I seen somebody years ago collect, and I felt for years I liked them, but then when I went and did another lap around my house, I was like, "You know what? I think I'm ready to let those go." And I sent them to my sister because my sister sells vintage stuff, and she said to me, because I mailed it to her, she was on a trip, and okay, mic issues. Oh, sorry. Oh, you know what? Here, let me try this. Thank you. Thank you. Let me try something. Hold on. Hold on. Boop. Let me see what I can do here. Better. Okay. Thank you. Thank you, you guys. I think it's because I turned on the other thing. Okay. Can you hear? Okay. Hopefully you can hear me now. All right. Technical difficulties. Long story short is, I didn't realize that the tray that I had those little things on was actually a pattern from this glass company in Ohio called Gay Fad. Gay Fad, that we went to the Gay Fad. They had like a vintage festival last year. These two wonderful gentlemen have revived this iconic 1960s brand or 1950s brand of glassware. I had no idea when I sent it to my sister that it was Gay Fad. I knew it was cool, but I also knew I didn't want anything. I don't like glass serving trays. I like ceramic or like melamine. Those are the things. I don't like things that chip. And yes, gay fad is in someplace in Ohio. I can't remember. Canton, Ohio. No. Canton, we have a friend. Regardless. And I didn't realize it was that. I am actually psyched that I gave that to my sister. She can keep it for herself, or she might be able to save it for a couple of bucks. Okay. Um, or sell it for a couple bucks rather. Yeah. So you may never know what you have in your home, but also keep in mind that selling things takes time and it takes energy. And I just want to make sure that you kind of have a clear-eyed view of, is spending my time and spending my energy trying to sell things going to get me the result I want, the monetary result? This is where I often like to say to people, including myself, what's your hourly rate? Even I pulled that on my husband the other day. I pulled that on him. But I said, here, we're talking about something that doesn't even matter. We have already wasted more of our time talking about something like, let's just stop this and start something else. This is a waste of our time. I'd rather spend my time talking about something else. And we both agreed and we moved on. So think about, what's your hourly rate? How long will it take you to sell something? And when you do that, divided by the hours it took you, how much are you getting paid per hour? It can be an eye opener. Okay. So research if you think you want to sell something. Yeah. Okay. All right. So here's a funny thing, fighting with that decision now. Gotta just let stuff go. Need it done. That can sound very encouraging, but also I will say this, Barbara, remember that phrase? Don't throw the baby out with the bathwater. Use that energy you have right now. Oh, I see what's happening here. Hold on. Just do one thing. There we go. Feel good about the decisions you're making. Don't just go willy-nilly, but feel good. I feel good about getting rid of this. I feel good about getting rid of this. I'm ready to get rid of this. Okay? And use that energy and move forward. Yeah, that might be able, that kind of energy may pick up the pace for you. So notice that, but try to minimize the regrets you're going to have. Don't overthink it. Trust your gut that you're ready to let it go, but don't, what's that thing you do? Second guess yourself or third guess yourself in the future. I shouldn't, you probably will. Get rid of something that you said, I should have probably kept that. I know I have, but that regret, that damn, I shouldn't have done that. I let that go too. Oh well is a big phrase I use a lot. Woke up this morning heavier than I wanted to be. Oh well. Donated that thing that I could have used. Oh well. What are you going to do? Let it go. Let it go. Do not invest any more time and energy and regret than you already have just by doing the initial regretting. Reaching for the positivity. Good, Barb. Good. I love hearing that. Barb, anything we can do here to help you with that? Is there anything, you said got to let stuff go. Is there a piece of stuff that you're struggling with that maybe we can help you with today? We've got another half hour on this live before I I shift gears and go through coaching and then to the Nakashima house. We're here together. How can we help you? And even not Barb, maybe somebody else. Is there a piece of clutter in your home, not or a category or something? Not just all of it. All of it is way too vague. You got to be a little bit more specific. Okay, something that feels like a struggle, a push me, pull you, a little tug of war. Part of you doesn't want it. Part of you says, hang on to it. Part of you says, let go, hang on. How can we slow down that struggle to let one person feel okay about letting go of the side of the tug of war rope? Okay. Think about that. Put it in the comments and we can help. Okay. Okay. Snowblower. Okay. And you live in a place that blows snow? Okay. Money it's worth. Yeah, I was wondering who Irma was, but I'm a poor typist myself, so I know about typing mistakes. There are other ways you can feel good. Ooh, capitalism is not going to like what I have to say, but that's why I'm saying it. There are other ways to feel good in your life that have nothing to do with money. Making it, getting it. There are other ways to feel good. Okay? Making money is definitely not the only way to feel good. It's a percentage. It's there. I'm not going to deny it. Money does help you do things. But if you want destination feeling good and getting it done, what I would offer is how can you release that snowblower and feel good about letting it go? Could you give it to somebody in your neighborhood? Because it's heavy and they would have to come pick it up. You're not about to ship it. Yeah, Lori is saying the same thing. I bet a neighbor maybe. Yeah. Could you ask your neighbors? And here's a key. This is going to make a difference. This is a subtle yet powerful difference in expanding the audience for the people who want your stuff. Oh, yeah, that's a good one. Lori says landscaper or who does snow. Notice the difference between these two ways of framing it. When you say to somebody, would you like this snowblower? They will think, do I want this snowblower? And they may say, thank you, but no. End of discussion. If you say, would you like this, or do you know anybody else who might want this? They're not going. That subtle difference of expanding, not just me, you, but you and your Venn diagram of people. Suddenly, they're not just thinking, me, no, I don't need it, but you've allowed them to expand their bubble to say, but I do know somebody who could really use it. So I say that because you want to leverage their people that you don't even know, right? Yeah. Or my grandson can sell it. True. If your grandson wants the money, he can also be the one to sell it, right? Get it out of your home, though. If he wants it to sell it, tell him he's got to bring it to wherever he is, because that might encourage him to sell it. Your destination is not making money or finding the perfect home for it. Your destination is, and I'm so glad all those years ago that I called my coaching destination decluttered, because when I get in the weeds and I say, oh my God, I got to make the money. No, the destination is to get the stuff. Your goal is to get the stuff out of your house that you don't want. Does that help, Barb? Okay. Yeah. All right. Too many decorative pillows, says Louise. Okay, so too many is an amount. What's an amount of decorative pillows? Which decorative pillows do you really like? And which ones not so much? Which are the ones that you really love that you're like, oh, hell no. I have a hierarchy of pillows on my couch out there. I could tell you without even walking out there, my favorites, my second favorites, my third favorites, my fourth favorites. Perfect, Barb. He's good at selling and can use the money. Okay, Barb, could you get in touch with your grandson today and say, I know it is July, but I would like this snowblower gone. I am happy to give it to you. Would you like it so you can use it or sell it? Yay, Barb. Calling grandson today. Okay, Barb, I love this. Notice you had an idea. You're taking an action. Now, I don't know if you're going to be on either of the declutter parties. We have declutter parties tomorrow at 8 a.m. and noon time, because tomorrow is Saturday, July 19th. I cannot believe we're already at the peak of the summer. But Monday, I wonder why I only have a TikTok live. That's interesting. I may add a YouTube live. I may add one. Chime in on one of the lives next week or the party and let us know how it went with your grandson. Okay, keep us in the loop. All right, there we go. Yes, a Christmas in July sale, snowblower. I love it. Yeah. And Lori, notice I offered to split the money with my niece if she helps me sell, but everybody's so busy. Yeah, because they know that sometimes the time is not worth whatever, even the money, you know? Now, Barb, it's funny because if you and Lori were living closer together, perhaps your grandson could help Lori. You never know. So sometimes, again, keeping your eye on destination decluttered. This is a story. This is a legit story that I did not realize was going to happen. This was when we used to do like the Zoom calls that were just kind of general Zoom calls versus the declutter parties. And they turned into declutter parties. And oh, I can't remember her name. Damn it, I can picture her. Here's something to think about, Lori, is with the stuff that you want to sell, make a list of it. Again, open up your notebook, turn to the back page, fold the paper in half because I love a column, and write down things that I want to sell. Write it down, and then go back and say, about how much money do I think I'm going to make? I would like to make from this, and how much I would like to make, and how much is about chop it in half. At the end of it, add up how much money you think you might possibly make, and probably even under that. Okay, you have a list. Okay, what do you need to learn how to do? I can probably help. Because here's the thing that I will share with you as you're finishing your sentence is I had somebody just show up on one of the lives or one of the declutter parties, and I said, okay, if you added up all of that inventory, about how much money is it worth? And she said, oh, about $500. And I said, okay, you could spend all your time to make that $500. And she's like, or that's not a large amount of money for me. I will save my time and energy by just donating that stuff. And the light bulb went off. You learn, okay, Lori, no, before you learn how to sell online, see if spending your time and energy to learn selling online is even worth your time and energy. So go back up to what I said. You have a list of items. Do some research? Because part of, okay, I'll give you the very first step in learning how to sell online is seeing if it's worth it or not. What is it worth? So if you go look up the stuff you think you're going to sell, and if you have no idea what it's worth, get onto eBay, get onto Etsy, look for completed sales, look for what people have purchased and then lowball it. The person who would spend top dollar has already bought it. They're out of the running. So go and research to see if it's even worth your time to sell it. You may be happily surprised, and then it might make sense for you to learn how to sell it. Or you may be like we were with my dad's books and being like, oh, Jesus, shit, we should have sold this stuff earlier. I wish we had have known. I wish we would have taken an inventory about what things are worth sooner rather than later, even if we didn't sell it at the time, to just know what was the market was going. I will say that the market for everything is being affected by what's going on in our country politically, because people are nervous about money. Many people are nervous about what they're going to have to spend money on, and they may be less likely to spend money on things that when they felt a nervous system safety about stuff, they could spend money on things that weren't necessarily necessities. So things may have been worth something 6 months ago that people are not buying right now. Okay. So attach a number to each one of those items that you want to sell. And I'm not just talking to Lori right here. I'm talking to anybody who says when they look at some of their stuff that might be worth something. Find out what people are willing to buy now, today, July of 2025, and let that number inform your next step. So yes, so don't learn how to sell online if you're not going to, why bother learning how to do it if you're never going to do it? So make a list and then add up the numbers and say, is that money worth it to me? Or could I donate those items, having given that fair market value or whatever, have that as a list, donate it, and then I just subtract that $500 off of my taxable income because I made a donation to a place that was a 501c3. Which one is going to be the quicker way for you to get to destination decluttered? It's not destination make money from my stuff we're talking about here. It's destination get the shit out of my house. Now, I know that I can be very direct and drop an S-bomb, okay? But seriously, that's how you get to your destination quicker. It's not saying, well, I got to do this and I got to do that and go over here. And then next thing you know, like you're totally off course. You got to redirect and they'd be like, oh, that's right. My focus is to not be decluttering for the rest of my freaking life. It's to how can I declutter at a pace that feels good, in a way that feels good, and that gets this done with so I can live a life I love and not always be in the active mode of decluttering. Decluttering people are my bread and butter, but I don't want you to be decluttering for the rest of your life. I want you to knock down the pile of stuff that's accumulated. And while you're doing that, learn how to live as a decluttered person. And then I will live on in your life and we will have a forever connection because you will have learned something, a different way of living that you can share with somebody else. So yes, I may be saying, I'm going to push you out of the nest. I want you strong enough to do this on your own. So I love teaching people this to remind you that it's, if you want it to take forever, it will take forever. If you want to speed up the process, you can speed up the process. And I show up in your life to see where you are making the trip longer than it has to be. Let me see if I can arrange this, Okay. Oh, good. It was a dry erase, So don't get yourself distracted by going up to Minneapolis if you're really in the mood to go to Tucson, Arizona. If you're going to go off route, own it. Own it and say, I know it's going to take me longer to go up to Minneapolis. I'm aware of that. However, it's a choice I'm making. But you can't complain that it's taking so long. Okay? Oh, sorry. I thought my phone was buzzing. Don't complain it's taking so long when you are creating detours and road trips, or what do you call them? Roadblocks. And I say this with love. I may be sounding very matter of fact and succinct and New England, but I mean this with the biggest heart, a heart like a horse blanket. Okay? Seriously. Okay, good. I'm not alone because Therapy Gal Sue says, lol, ever since I found you, that's what I call it. Destination, get this shit out of my house. I love it. So you know what? And that's the good thing. You're not, what's what I want to say? Here, let me think for a sec. You're not getting rid of the good stuff. No, you are getting rid of the shit you just don't want anymore. Your body does it every freaking day. Let your hands and your heart get the stuff out of your home. Get it flowing. I don't know. I'm trying to, suddenly my body is coming up with a digestive tract and home metaphor. That's kind of gross, but you get what I'm saying, right? Now, I love it. Therapy Gal Sue says, this week, preparing for a donation pickup next Friday. Ooh, destination pickup next Friday, a deadline, a goal, an external date that somebody else is coming to your house. You bet your sweet Bippy that we got that bagster filled because we knew we had to get it done sometime this week. Yep. And then she's starting jewelry. Now, jewelry, if you notice, it's probably not taking up a lot of space in your home, but it may take a while for you to sort out in your head and your heart what you're going to keep and what you're not going to keep. One of the things I will say, having decluttered I've decluttered a lot of houses. My parents-in-law's house, because they both passed away within months of each other, is they had a lot of jewelry that they had inherited, broken jewelry and stuff like that, when they cleaned out their aunts and uncles' houses. And I will say this, anybody here who has some gold, I had no idea because I'm not a gold person. I like silver and I like platinum is the fancy part, is how much you can get for true gold. So if it's broken or it's junky or things like that, please squirrel that aside, and then you can find a place that somebody will give you some nickels for that. Other than that, you may have to spend a lot of time selling stuff. Okay. So just notice that. And even if your jewelry was expensive, if you don't wear it and you don't like it, it's junk. It is. If it was expensive, go to a jeweler, see if they can give you some money for it. That's what we did. Um, and yeah, there's that. I hope that helps. I hope that helps. I only show up in the spirit of help, not hurt. But sometimes I can be very direct and be like, come on, people, should have get off the pot. Good stuff. Is anybody decluttering this weekend? Anybody got a decluttering plan? Today is Friday. Just so you know, as a heads up, it's about 9:47. We've got about 13 minutes because I need to shift over and see what this, if this microphone is going to work for Zoom. So just learning how to do this. Anything I can help you with in the next 15 minutes. Sometimes it takes 30 seconds. And having a different perspective, somebody there who's not in your head and can see things from a different point of view, somebody there, I'm your co-pilot. I'm always keeping my eye on the road to get you to where you said you wanted to go in a way that feels good and we have fun doing it. I will remind you that your destination is destination decluttered, but it's a road trip. You can spend as long as you want on the road, but don't you want to just get there? Don't you want to just be there? Like I talk about the road trip from here to Palm Springs. I want to be there. I don't want to spend 10 years doing it. And then I finally get there and I'm 10 years older. That's one of the things I realized when I was writing my travel books here is that, oh my God, at this rate, I'm going to be writing these books till I'm 90. I don't want to spend my 60s, 70s, 80s doing all this. Okay. All right. Cheryl Siegel, your spouse has gone to Boston. He's shipping up to Boston, eh? Yeah. I'm from Boston. I can't help it. Dropkick Murphys. Have big plans for lots of decluttering and jamming out to music. Okay. Cheryl, I love the enthusiasm. I do. You have big plans to get a lot of decluttering done. Chop it in half. Chop it in half from the get-go. Much like I said to Lori, see what you want, chop it in half. Chunk it down to half. Okay? The reason I say that is when you lower the bar, you will more likely reach it. And then anything above it will feel like a bonus. But if you set the bar inadvertently too high where it doesn't match your time or your energy, if you get to here, you're going to feel like you're not going to feel good. You're going to emphasize what you didn't get done. So why not start with saying, I'm only going to go halfway. I'm going to aim for Wichita, Kansas. I am a lineman for the county. I'm going to aim for Wichita. I'm going to be psyched to get to Wichita. And if I'm still feeling good, anywhere I go is going to be closer. Okay? Please do that. I love enthusiasm, but that I'm going to kick the world's ass. That's actually what I legitimately call it. That could be a burst of energy, but it's not the long, steady energy that you need to get across the country. Hey, there we go. Louise sold some gold last year. I thought I would have had a higher price for it. However, hey, $140. That's nothing to sneeze at. My wallet was better than taking up space not worn. Yeah. And notice, again, if notice is your drink word, we were talking earlier today on the YouTube, on the TikTok live, but nothing lasts, sounds kind of, but everything always changes. Everything is always changing. The price for a freaking ticket for me to fly from Philly to Boston is going up and down like a freaking roller coaster. The price of gold fluctuates. The price of gas fluctuates. So if you're trying to hit it on the mark, you may be waiting a long time, and it may get higher to pay or lower if you're selling. Okay, there we go. I love it. I live 2 hours from Wichita, so I will use that as my road trip and I will chunk things down. I love it. And, that's when I feel like it could be random or it could be this mysterious, invisible force that we can't even see or feel, but we know is there, kind of like air and oxygen. The universe just made a connection right there, Cheryl. I randomly looked at Wichita, I said it, I sang it, and you're like, I'm near Wichita. That means there's something there. So, yes, have fun with it. Have fun with it. If you're 2 hours from Wichita, don't try to drive to like Amarillo, Texas, or Lubbock or Springfield. See, I'm showing off because I have a map in my head, or I don't have a map in my head, but I've got one in my hand. Okay. So, things change all the time. There may be, yes, you may have gotten a higher price if you sold sooner, but just getting the project done and getting it done can be a wonderful feeling. Not having to worry about and think about doing it. That's why at a certain point, I keep on checking these things and these ticket prices, and Google flights keeps on saying prices are high. I don't want to pay a high price. Once it says prices are not so high, then I'll probably just buy the ticket to save myself, to spend the money to give myself peace of mind. Spend money to give yourself peace of mind. Spend money on the things that will make you feel better. Spend money on the bagster or the help to get the big bulky gross items out of your house all at once versus piecemealing them into the garbage can every single week. So slowing down and chunking it down, Cheryl, will make your road trip a lot more enjoyable. And enjoy the drive. Look at the scenery, appreciate what you are. Look at where you've been. Take a picture. Take a picture. Seriously, this is one I don't know why I always forget to do this myself. I think because personally, it's not into my habit. Cheryl, before you start, anybody this weekend who's doing any kind of declutter project, do this. Take a picture of before you started and take a picture when you're done. Now, I will say this. Sometimes, many times, the picture will not represent the massive change, but it will be evidence that it did look worse before you did the decluttering. Oftentimes, the pictures in our brain will dissolve and you will forget how bad it looked if you don't have a picture. And then you keep on thinking, oh, I haven't done much. I haven't done much. It's because you don't have a picture of how bad it looked when you started. Okay. And these pictures, like when I have coached people before, I have said, send the pictures to me. So you have accountability to follow through on that action, but also so we both have something to compare it to, but you don't need to share them with anybody except yourself. And notice that they are going to benefit you because it gives you something to compare. Okay. Now, I'm going to wind down this road trip together because I, especially with this new microphone, need to make sure that my signals and stuff are working because I have coaching to do before I leave. But a couple of things before I leave. Please remember, as Arthur Goyette would say, circa 1986 in this awesome class that I took with him, may he rest in peace. Please remember that there are 2 declutter parties tomorrow. Saturday from 8 a.m. Eastern to 9:30 p.m. Eastern, and then another one, noontime Eastern to 1:30 Eastern. That is more for the people in the middle and the west part, but whatever works best for you. If you're thinking of decluttering, hey, Cheryl, your husband's not around. Do you want to show up at a declutter party? We can keep you company. So if you're on the mailing list, if you're part of the email group, as I try to practice saying, if you're part of the email group, you already know how to get your tickets. So get your tickets and look forward to showing up at a party. We also have one on Monday morning. And then the following weekend, a week from tomorrow, is the 26th of July. 2 parties, a decluttering party at 8 a.m. and the notebook party on how to use your notebooks. 2 of them. Get 2 of them, okay? The notebook party and declutter party on the 26th. And then we are already going to be into August, okay? But in the meantime, I'm here to help. I hope this thing's helped. Yes, you can totally use a phone for Zoom. Many people do, 100%. You do not need a computer. You just need to, I think, download the Zoom app, okay? and we can help you through that. Okay. Download the app, create. I don't even know if you need to create an account. I could be wrong, but you can figure out the baby steps. Okay. I trust that you can do that, Cheryl. Okay. Now I'm going to sign off now because I want to go to the bathroom before I start coaching. I'm sure you can appreciate that because I've been sitting here drinking my tea for 2 hours. I hope to see plenty of you at the parties tomorrow or on Monday or the TikTok lives. Okay. Have a good weekend, whatever you do. And remember, your destination is decluttered, and let's get there sooner rather than later. Okay. Bye.